In February, in the White Mountains, a 5-person SAR team spotted a figure waving from a ridge, the universal SAR signal, "I see you, come to me." But Catherine Holt had been dead for 3 days.
She's 38, experienced, but alone. 3 nights in this cold, you know what that means?
3 days. In these mountains, the cold doesn't wait. It doesn't give second chances.
Sector 7, North Ridge, will insert by 2200. Gear up.
We're not searching for a hiker anymore. We're searching for what's left.
They packed extra batteries, heat pads, and a body bag. No one said recovery, but that's what it was. Under a cloud-scraped moon, the team moved into the tree line. The snow groaned under their boots.
Every missing hiker we've ever found alive made some noise. Silence usually means we're too late.
They spread into their search lanes, headlamps carving light through the dark, calling a name that felt more like a prayer. Justin checked the thermometer. The display flickered once, then settled. -20 degrees.
Survival outside a bivvy at this temperature is measured in hours, not days.
Catherine knew these trails. She might have found something, a log, a rock overhang.
In these temps, shelter just buys you an extra hour, if you are lucky.
Luck isn't something I bet on. We search because that's what we do.
They pushed on, calling her name. Each shout was swallowed by the snow. No response.
After a while, the name starts to feel like it belongs to a ghost.
Waist-deep powder. Every step was a fight. The cold gnawed through their defenses.
We're burning through our own reserves just to cover dead ground.
2 hours into the grid. No tracks, no torn fabric, no sign. The silence was absolute, and the night was still young. They broke out of the tree line onto a granite ledge that overlooked the valley.
3 full grids, and the snow looks untouched. If she's here, we'd see something.
Ray lifted his goggles and stared across the valley. He raised a hand.
Light on the far ridge. It just moved.
The team's headlamps swung toward the spot. A tiny point of light bobbed in the dark.
It's a person. She's waving. That's the signal. Come to me.
3 days. Nobody lasts 3 days out here, but that wave is deliberate.
The volunteers stood rigid, watching the arm rise and fall. No one dared to name what they were seeing.
Could be a reflector or a branch caught in the wind. We've been out too long.
The figure kept waving, relentless, and the team stood frozen, caught between training and disbelief.
Command, this is Team 3. We have visual of a person waving on the North Ridge. Request permission to break search grid and investigate.
Team 3, command copies. You are sure it's a person? Conditions are degraded.
Confirmed. Steady wave pattern, headlamp on, no response to hails.
Copy. Proceed with caution. Keep comms open.
Justin pocketed the radio and led the team off the ledge. The valley waited below, deep and dark.
She's still waving. She's alive. We just have to get there.
Or something else is moving that light. Don't bet on this, Ray.
I need to see it for what it is, not what I hope. Prepare for the worst.
The figure kept signaling, exact and untiring, following them behind the ridgeline as they descended. Distance and the cold, distorted time. Every step forward felt like a gamble against physics and fate. The valley basin was a white throat. Snow swallowed them to the waist, and every step demanded payment in sweat and shivering. A stand of frosted birch hid the signal for a minute, and everyone stopped breathing until the waving light pushed through the branches again.
40 minutes, and the pattern hasn't changed. Same arc, same speed. A person that cold would be slowing down.
The watch says 2:47. We've been following this ghost for 40 minutes.
Maybe she's using a signal mirror. Saw us on the ledge and wouldn't stop until we got close.
And mirror couldn't hold that rhythm without a living hand. But I can't say that out loud. Not yet.
The moonlight shifted, throwing long black shadows that stretched like fingers toward the opposite ridge. Sam's ice axe caught a hidden slab, and he slid sideways with a grunt, saving himself a yard short of a drift.
Keep moving. The ridge is closer than it looks now.
The signal waved on, a precise metronome in the dark, and nobody spoke the thing they were beginning to suspect. The team angled up the slope, Headlamps, now sharp enough to define the figure. A woman's silhouette, dark parka, ponytail lifting in the wind.
It's Catherine. We see you. Hold your position.
No answer returned. The arm kept the same beat, unwavering, and the silence pressed heavier than the cold.
She should be answering by now. Hypothermic or not, a person moves toward rescue.
The slope steepened as they scrambled the last 30 feet. The figure's outline shimmered, thinned, and vanished into the blowing snow. They threw themselves over the crest, beams slicing across bare rock and fresh powder. Nothing, no tracks, no gear, no sign.
She was right here. We all saw it. 3 sets of eyes can't hallucinate.
No footprints but ours. Nothing moved but the snow. This isn't just wrong, it's impossible.
Ray swept the ground with his torch, frantic, but the snow was unbroken. The signal had been a ghost. The wind pushed back, and for a long moment nobody moved. Then Justin keyed his radio, voice flat.
Command, Team 3. We've lost the visual. No sign of the figure on the ridge. Continuing search.
Below us, in the saddle, something dark half buried in the drift.
They descended fast, sliding on scree and crust, headlamps converging on the shape that shouldn't be there. Catherine Holt lay curled beneath a quilt of frost, one arm stretched toward the ridge as if still reaching.
No pulse. Skin waxy, dead for days. She was waving at us 40 minutes ago.
The cold had set every joint. Rigor fixed her like a sculpture of her final effort.
Command, we've located the subject. Deceased. Confirmed fatal exposure. Request extraction coordinates.
She was dead the whole time. What the hell did we follow across the valley?
They worked in silence, unfolding the body bag, while the wind whispered nonsense around them. The litter would be heavy, weighted with a question none of them could carry alone. They carried her through the dark, the litter poles digging into their shoulders. Every step a small surrender.
40 minutes. I can still see the arm moving, steady as a metronome.
At base camp, dawn bled gray over the tents as they loaded Catherine into the coroner's van.
We found her, but I can't call it a rescue. The signal led us to a body.
You did the job. Get some rest. We'll debrief later.
The van's taillights shrank to red pinpoints and vanished, leaving Justin alone on the frozen road.
Someone was waving. 3 of us saw it, but the log will say signal unconfirmed.
He stood there until the cold bit through his vest, replaying the ridge where the figure had stood.
It's not over. That wave means something, and I need to know what.
The rest of the team found their cots, but Justin sat awake in the command tent, the question burning a hole in the silence. Mike Driscoll spread the radio log across the table, his thick finger pressing a timestamp at 2:15.
40 minutes, Justin. Your team reported a person waving. The subject was dead 72 hours before you ever set foot out there.
I know what the timeline says, but 3 of us saw the same thing. A steady wave, no breakdown.
Saw what, exactly? A headlamp? A reflection? No other teams were in that sector. Catherine Holt couldn't have produced it.
He's right. It makes no sense. But we didn't all hallucinate.
So who was signaling?
I don't know. Maybe a gear malfunction, or I can't explain it.
I need more than I can't explain. Write up your report, but keep the speculation out.
He thinks we made a mistake, or that we're lying.
Justin left the debrief with the radio log still sitting on the table. The unanswered question pressing down like the weight of new snow. The weeks after, Justin sat at his kitchen table every night, the case file open like a wound.
If 3 of us saw it, we weren't mistaken. But then what were we seeing?
He reread the radio logs, the coroner's notes. Every fact circled back to nothing.
Maybe I am unfit for this. If I can't trust my eyes, I am a danger to the team.
At the station, Ray wouldn't meet his gaze. Sam only nodded and walked away. Then, 3 weeks later, a package. Inside, a USB and a note from Marcus Holt. He loaded the drive in his truck. The file name was just Catherine. The video showed Marcus in his living room, Eyes red, but voice steady. I wanted to thank everyone who went out there. You brought her home to me. Justin's finger hovered over pause, but Marcus clutched something small, and Justin kept watching. Marcus leaned closer to the camera, his voice catching as he lifted something into the light. Catherine never went anywhere without this. A signal mirror her grandfather gave her. The aluminum disc caught the glow from the lamp, and Justin's stomach turned cold.
A signal mirror. That's what Ray suggested, but a dead hand can't angle a mirror.
He paused the video and zoomed in, tracing the mirror's worn edge with his eyes. She practiced with it for years. Knew the exact rhythm to signal for help. Justin's fingers shook as he pulled up the digital evidence log from the case file.
There should be a listed mirror. Personal item 17 or 18. Why didn't I check?
He typed mirror and hit search, the laptop fan whining in the dark. The inventory row appeared, and for a long second he couldn't make himself read it. The lines stared back at him. Item 17. Aluminum signal mirror, 3 by 5 inches, recovered from subject's right hand.
Right hand. Her right hand. The arm we thought was waving.
He clicked the attached photo, a pixelated image of Catherine's frozen hand, mirror clutched tight. The positioning was unmistakable. Arm extended at 45 degrees, angled toward the ridge they had crossed.
Rigor mortis froze her in that position. The mirror didn't fall. It caught our light for 40 minutes.
He sat back, the cab silent, except for his own breathing, and stared at the image until his eyes burned.
The wave wasn't a wave. It was light bouncing off aluminum. A dead woman's autopilot signal.
The physics almost worked, but the rhythm, the persistence, none of it made sense without a living hand.
We followed a corpse's reflection for 40 minutes, and that reflection brought us straight to her.
Justin closed the laptop and sat in the dark, the new knowledge heavier than any secret he'd ever carried. Justin called the medical examiner's office, his voice measured but the question urgent. The examiner confirmed full rigor mortis had set Catherine's arm at a 45-degree angle within hours of death. The cold had preserved the position, almost sculptural. The mirror couldn't have fallen.
Someone could have placed it after she fell, but the examiner said no disturbance. She died with it in her hand.
He traced the diagram of the body position, the raised arm marking a line straight to the ridge.
The light we followed was her mirror, but the consistency, the rhythm that still demands a living hand.
He ended the call and stared at the wall. The science only deepened the impossible.
I can't dismiss it as a fluke. 3 of us saw it. The mirror proves it. She signaled us.
Outside the window, the world went on. Inside, Justin crossed a line he couldn't walk back. For the first time in his SAR career, the missing had found him, not the other way around. Sleep refused to hold him. Night after night, Justin found himself back at the kitchen table. The case files spread like evidence of a crime he couldn't solve.
The facts say one thing. She was dead. The memory says another. She was waving. I can't make them fit.
He picked up 2 photos, Catherine smiling on a summit, and the recovery shot, her frozen form in the snow.
2 versions of the same woman. One reached a summit. The other reached across death to bring us to her.
He closed his eyes and saw her again, adjusting her pack at the trailhead that last morning, ponytails swinging.
Maybe I am not fit for this anymore. If I can't trust what I see, I am a liability.
He unclipped his SAR badge from the vest, the laminated photo of a younger man staring up.
7 years of searching. I found the lost, the injured, the dead, but never one that found me back.
The question calcified. Keep the badge and accept the unexplainable, or walk away and call it a career finished by a ghost. He set the badge on the table and stared at it, the weight of the unsolved pressing on his chest. He picked up the phone and dialed the number from the note. Marcus Holt answered on the 3rd ring. Justin? I didn't think I'd hear from you. The video, was it too much?
Number. I needed to see it. I wanted to thank you and to ask about Catherine, about the mirror.
She never went anywhere without it. Even on short hikes, it was in her front pocket. She spent years perfecting the signals.
Did she have a specific rhythm? A pattern she would use? Something deliberate?
Yes. 3-second sweeps, pause, repeat. She said it was the international distress signal. She'd practice until it was muscle memory.
3-second sweeps. That's exactly what we saw. Her muscle memory, still sending the signal.
She'd never stop trying to be found. Even at the end, I believe she was signaling. She brought you to her.
A practiced signal from a frozen hand. Not random, not coincidence. She was still trying, somehow.
The call ended with a quiet gratitude. Justin sat alone, the badge still on the table, but the weight had changed its shape. Before dawn, Justin drove alone to the trailhead. The ridge waited under a cold, clear sky.
This is where she stood. Not a ghost, but a reflection of someone who refused to give up.
He descended to the saddle, the snow crisp under his boots, until he stood where her body had lain.
She died here, arm extended, mirror in hand. She was already gone, but she still reached out.
He pulled a signal mirror from his pack, angled it toward the ridge, and caught the sun.
The beam flashes in 3-second sweeps. Her practice rhythm. It works. It would have worked that night. She didn't haunt us. She guided us. Her last skill, firing on muscle memory, brought us to her. I won't leave SAR, but I'll never dismiss a signal after the window closes. Not ever again.
By the time he returned to base, the badge was back on his vest. He requested to stay on active duty. The mystery still sat at the table with him, but now it felt less like an accusation and more like a compass. He called Ray and Sam into a small meeting room, the whiteboard blank behind him.
From now on, we follow any visual signal past the survival window. I'll explain why.
The Catherine case? You think she was signaling. The timelines don't match, Justin.
She was. A mirror, frozen in her hand, angled perfectly. Her practice pattern, dead for days.
3-second sweeps. That's what we saw. The rhythm was always too consistent.
I am not asking for belief. Just trust the process when the charts say stop.
You haven't led us wrong. If this is your call, we're in.
Justin took the proposal to Mike. The commander listened, stone-faced.
A mirror held by a body. Sounds like a ghost story. Keep it out of the reports.
Justin nodded. The rule would stay unofficial, but from that night, they never dismissed a signal. Months later, another call-out. A young man lost in the same brutal cold, the survival window already closed. The search grid fell silent until Ray pointed toward a distant ridge. A light flickered, weak but intentional.
On the ridge. It's weak, but it's moving, just like before.
Windows closed. Could be gear malfunction or just a branch.
We follow it. That's the rule now.
They crossed the valley, the light growing steadier with every yard until it became a headlamp waving in a steady human rhythm. Under a rock overhang, a young man huddled, his headlamp clutched in a trembling hand, still waving with the last of his strength.
Alive. Catherine's rule just brought a man back from the edge.
Copy that. Team 3. Subject alive. Good work.
No fanfare, no mention of mirrors, just a life returned and the quiet weight of a promise kept. In the weeks after, Justin led each call-out with the same steady patience, but something in him had shifted.
Every missing hiker leaves a silence. Catherine's silence was different. It had a voice.
He never spoke of it unless asked, but Ray noticed the new item in his vest pocket.
You've been carrying a mirror, like hers.
Just a reminder. Sometimes the missing want to be found more than we understand.
Sam bought one too. Ray followed. It became an informal thing, never official, never discussed at command. The protocol whispered through the unit. Signal window doesn't mean survival window. Not anymore.
I don't know what reached out that night, but it wasn't a lie. We saw it. We followed it. We found her.
And every time a light flickered on a dark ridge, Justin turned toward it instead of away. The mirror in his pocket was cold metal, but it felt like a hand reaching back. The next season, Justin stood before a huddle of fresh volunteers, a whiteboard behind him and the ridge in his voice.
The charts mark a survival window, but hope doesn't always read charts. If you see a deliberate signal, you follow it. I learned this from a woman who was already gone. Her mirror brought us to her.
He never called it a ghost story. It was a field note, a caution, and a promise all at once. The new recruits clipped signal mirrors to their vests beside their ID badges, a small rectangle of belief. Justin's own badge grew more scratched each year. His face in the photo, younger than the one in the mirror now.
10 winters. Every one of them I've carried her lesson. The missing don't always stay silent.
Catherine Holt's name never appeared in the training manual, but her signal did in the way they searched.
We don't guess. We verify, but we don't dismiss. That's the rule.
He clipped the badge back to his vest and stepped into the cold, the mirror heavy against his chest. Midnight on another frozen ridge, another name on the missing list. Justin led a team that now included a face still learning the rules. The rookie pointed at a light on the ridge, steady and unwavering, then shook his head. The manual's rule unspoken. Through the binoculars, a figure stood, arms swinging in a rhythm Justin knew too well.
3-second sweeps. Catherine's rhythm. Not possible, but there. We follow it.
The team moved out, headlamps cutting the dark, the rookie falling in line. The light kept waving, a steady metronome, as their beams carved through the snow. No one asked. They just followed the signal, the way Justin had taught them. On the ridge, the figure never stopped, arm rising and falling in its deliberate pattern. The outcome didn't matter yet. They were going, and the signal was waiting. Justin still volunteers. He no longer dismisses signals from missing persons. Even after the standard window has closed, some signals he believes are not meant to be ignored, no matter their source. And so, when the light appeared on the ridge that night, he gave the order. The team moved, headlamps bobbing, swallowed by the snow and the silence. On the ridge, the figure kept waving, a steady metronome in the void. It wasn't a person he was following. It was a law he'd learned from the dead. Catherine Holt's mirror still reflects, somewhere between the peaks and the stars. Justin carries his own, and when the beam catches the ridge, he knows. Some calls for help don't end with a voice. The figure waves on, and the night waits, and the missing are never quite gone.